Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Melissa and I'm the owner of seasonandserveblog.com. Today we are making a spooky and spicy chicken wing recipe that is perfect for Halloween, my Diablo Chicken Lollipops. These chicken lollipops are the perfect recipe for any Halloween party, as they can be eaten in just a few bites, and you can even impress your guests with your very own homemade hot sauce. So if you want to see how I make my Diablo Chicken Lollipops, just keep on watching. I'll begin by making the homemade hot sauce made with jalapenos and habanero peppers from our garden. It's very important that whenever you're working with peppers, whether they're from the garden or from the grocery store, you should definitely wear gloves, because if you end up touching your eyes or a sensitive part of your skin, it really burns. Trust me, definitely wear your gloves. To prepare the peppers, I'm going to cut off the stems of each of the jalapeno peppers with a sharp knife, and then I'm going to cut out the seeds and the membrane from half of the jalapeno peppers. Now I'm doing this because the jalapenos from our garden were extremely spicy this year. I've never grown jalapenos this spicy before, and in order to cut down on a bit of the heat, I'm just going to remove the seeds and the membrane, since this is where all of the heat is stored. And this is a really great trick to tailor the overall heat level of your hot sauce. So if you want a really mild sauce, go ahead and remove all the seeds in the membrane. But if you like your hot sauce really spicy, definitely keep it all in. I am also adding in a habanero pepper that I grew in my garden this year as well. I really love habanero peppers. They are a lot spicier than jalapeno peppers, but I am going to go ahead and remove the seeds in the membrane from that, because the seeds in the membrane in this pepper are very, very spicy. Now I'll continue this process and remove the seeds in the membrane from the remaining half of the jalapeno peppers, and then I'll give all the peppers a nice rough chop. Next, I'm going to cut the peppers into small pieces using my sharp knife, and then we're going to add these roughly chopped peppers into a food processor. And then we'll simply process these until we have a nice fine chop on our peppers. We don't want to puree the peppers at this point, we just want them to be finely chopped just like this. And once they're at this stage, we're going to take them over to the stove and begin cooking them. So I'm going to add our chopped jalapeno and habanero peppers to a pot, along with 2 cloves of garlic and 3/4 of a cup of white vinegar. I'm going to give this a quick stir, and then we're going to add in some salt and some brown sugar to make it a little bit sweet and balance out all the flavors. Then I'm going to stir it again and bring the contents to a boil. Now, a very important safety tip when making hot sauce like this is that you want to turn on your hood fan or open all of the windows in your house. Having good air circulation will help remove a lot of the spicy fumes coming off of the hot sauce so that you don't breathe it in. Hot sauce making can be a very dangerous process, so I would say have as much ventilation as you can. I would also say that if you have pets in your house, either put them in a separate room while you're cooking this, or take them outside for a little bit just so that they're not affected by the scent. Now, once all the peppers have come to a boil and they have softened a little bit, we're going to remove it from the heat and then return it to the food processor. And then I'm going to let it cool down for about 10 or 15 minutes just so that we're not processing really hot peppers and vinegar. Now, after it's cooled, I like to taste it, and if your hot sauce is really, really spicy, a great ingredient to add is actually aroma tomato. Even though I removed the seeds in the membrane, all of these peppers were still really spicy, so I added in a tomato just so that it will bring the heat level down a bit. Plus, adding the tomato will also help balance out the chipotle and adobo pepper that I'm going to add next. This is a little bit spicy, but it's more smoky and adds a delicious flavor to this hot sauce. Once you add in the chipotle and adobo and the tomatoes, if you're using those, we're going to go ahead and puree this until it is a nice smooth sauce. Now, after everything is pureed, I'm going to return it back to the pot, and then we're going to cook it for about 2 to 3 minutes just to develop a little bit of that chipotle and adobo flavor and to help cook out the tomato flavor as well. In the end, we're looking for a consistency similar to ketchup, but just a little bit runnier so that we can evenly coat all of our chicken wings. Once your hot sauce is cooked, we're going to remove it from the heat and we'll set it aside while we prepare the chicken wings. To make these chicken wings perfect for Halloween, we are going to take these basic chicken drumettes and turn them into these beautiful chicken lollipops with the bones sticking out. And in order to do this, it is super simple. All you need to do is take a very sharp knife and run it underneath that joint all the way down to the bone, and this will help detach the meat and the tendons from the chicken bone. Next, take your knife and scrape the meat and the skin down to expose the bone. You can either lay the chicken drumette flat or stand it up on its end and scrape all the meat and the skin downwards. And then for a really spooky presentation, we want to remove any meat and skin at the end of the bone, so just use your sharp knife and cut all that away. Now you may think this process takes a long time to do, but after you practice on the first couple chicken drumettes, this process actually goes really fast once you get the hang of it. So just continue this until all of your chicken drumettes are all trimmed. Once all your chicken drumettes are trimmed, we are going to transfer these into a bowl, and then we're going to add in our potato starch, salt, and pepper mixture. I love frying with potato starch because the chicken wings get super crispy and they stay gluten-free, which is a really great trick if you have gluten-free friends or family members. So I'm just going to give these a quick toss to coat, and then we're going to take them over to the stove for frying. To fry the chicken wings, I heated up a large pot with vegetable oil in it to 350 degrees. Right next to it, I lined a large baking tray with paper towel and then set a large cooling rack over top so that all the oil can drip off the chicken wings once they're fried. To safely fry the chicken wings, I'm going to pick each one up with a pair of tongs and gently tap off the excess potato starch before adding them into the hot oil. Be sure to add in only about 6 to 7 chicken wings at a time, just so that they don't stick to each other and so that the oil doesn't cool down too fast. If you add a lot of chicken wings into the pan at once, the oil temperature drops and then you end up with a really greasy chicken wing, which isn't fun. So just do a few at a time and work in batches. As the chicken wings fry, make sure to move them around once in a while so that they don't stick to each other. Then after 10 minutes, remove the chicken wings from the oil and then begin your next batch. Once your second batch is all fried off, we're going to remove them all from the heat, and then we're going to increase it to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. That's right, we are doing the double fry, and this makes sure that your chicken wings get nice and crunchy on the outside. When doing the double fry, I only fry them for about 5 minutes extra, just so that the chicken wing is perfectly cooked inside. After 5 minutes, remove your chicken wings from the hot oil, and they should be nice and golden brown and crispy. Next, we're going to drain them for a little bit before we brush them evenly with our homemade hot sauce. And don't these look so spooky? I love how the fried bones look and how the sauce color just pops on these chicken wings. I think it's beautiful. Once all your chicken wings are coated in the hot sauce, just arrange them on a platter and bring them over to your victims. I mean, your guests. I guarantee that these Diablo Chicken Lollipops will be a major hit at any Halloween party this year. Not only do they look really spooky, but they also taste great with that homemade hot sauce and are nice and crunchy from that fried chicken. And if you're looking to pair this recipe with a wine, I highly recommend pairing it with a Riesling, such as this one from Kronos, which is part of the Time family of wines here in the Okanagan Valley in British Columbia. Riesling is really sweet and it cuts through the spiciness of the chicken perfectly. And that is it for today's video. I hope that you enjoy these delicious Diablo Chicken Lollipops for Halloween this year, and let me know in the comments below what you're gonna be for Halloween. If you wanna find out what I'm gonna be, definitely head over to my Instagram and check me out there. And also to get the full recipe plus other amazing Halloween and fall recipes, head over to my blog and I will leave that linked in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching and happy Halloween.